Agrotourism is the use of agronomic crops and other crops to attract people to a farm or business for any reason. Agrotourism takes many different forms and spans the globe. Agrotourism became popularized in the 1980s when public opinion began to change about rural life. People also had more money and as a result could afford cars. This made it easier for people to travel and find agrotourism. Another reason it became popular was the increased price of labor and land in the 1970s. Farmers had to come up with a new and more efficient way to make money from their farms. Agrotourism is an attempt by farmers to tap into the $1 billion tourism industry in America. Tourism is the 10th largest market in the U.S., as stated by the U.S. travel industry. This market is very large and encompasses many different forms of businesses. Some farmers try and tap into this large market by growing corn mazes because of the attention they bring to farms. Since these fields of corn have a different purpose than most other cornfields, let's take a look at the differences and similarities between how they are grown. Most cornfields undergo very little traffic, if any, throughout the growing season. This essentially means that farmers that grow corn mazes must till their fields every year in order to fight compaction. Farmers also have to deal with the traffic while the corn maze is open. The compaction of the soil can flood the fields during heavy rains. This is less of a problem because the corn is already matured, but can have an impact on corn growth and development. Farmers also tend to plant corn a couple weeks later than normal, around June, in order to improve corn stability while the corn maze is open. The corn is also planted at a higher rate, 40,000 plants per acre, in order to make vision inside the corn maze minimal. This raises initial costs of the cornfield. Another factor that raises corn costs is labor. The corn maze needs to be mowed and maintained throughout the season in order to keep it in the proper condition. The difference in management and use affects the corn and harvest quality. In a sample test between a conventional cornfield and a corn maze, the corn maze, on average, has less kernels per ear. This resulted in a 31% decrease in yield when compared to the traditional cornfield. This difference in corn yield can be contributed to the lack of corn in the paths of the corn maze, higher disease and insect pressure, and weather conditions stunting the corn due to difference in planting dates. Another variable that affects yields in corn mazes is damage due to the many people that walk through it. There are many factors that affect corn maze costs depending on the farm. For example, some farmers hire people to design the corn maze for them. This study was conducted by Schilling, Bamka, Komar, and Sullivan. As they stated, this study is to get a general idea at the extra expenses it takes to grow a corn maze, but is not an accurate measurement of all the corn mazes grown in the U.S. As I stated earlier, there are many factors unique to individual farmers that influence price. Although, on average, it costs more to grow a corn maze and yield is compromised, the use of a corn maze is to draw people in. The corn grown in these corn mazes are often used for livestock feed once the corn maze is closed. The corn is harvested and processed and then fed out to the farm's livestock. Agrotourism benefits growers in several ways. It provides a way for farmers to attract hundreds and sometimes thousands of people to their farm. Corn mazes are often a great way to do that because they draw lots of consumers to their farms. Agrotourism also provides a way for farmers to sell directly to consumers. This cuts farmers' costs and helps profit margins. It also gives farmers a way to use their crops for multiple purposes, in this case, for advertising and food production. Agrotourism draws thousands of people to farms around the world. It is an essential way for farmers to make more money and draw people to their farms and benefit the community. Corn mazes are a form of advertising and recreation that draws people to these farms, benefiting both the farmers that grow them and the people that walk through them.